In this corner, standing at 5'7" and weighing in at 155 pounds and a net worth of $104.4 billion, and that amount of money certainly makes him the devil. Mark, grilled by Congress Zuckerberg. And in this corner, coming in at a towering 6'1" and weighing in at a husky teenager's 210, with a net worth of, my God, $251 billion. The elongated Musk, the space cowboy, the Iron Man, the Lord of the Blood Diamond Mind, Elon the Tusk Musk.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to witness quite possibly the biggest, dumbest spectacle in the history of a fight between two billionaires without any lawyers, which means one thing: we have reached the final stage of capitalism, and soon we will all run out of water while these two betas do this again on Mars in 200 years after their cryogenic brains are unfrozen and put into the bodies of two true alphas, Kyle Kinane and Shane Torres. This week we're talking about publicity stunts. I know it's ironic from two guys who barely self-promote and hate, but use these guys' products all the time.
Kyle, you're good with words. You know that, man?
I think the gym is dumb.
Did Rachel walk in the room? Of course I've eaten a Baconator.
Man, if you ain't doing CrossFit, you can get cross-buff.
You're right. A long burger's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
That's your sitcom right there, as a Mr. Fix-It-All who just can't fix his heart.
We will not be defending Atlantic City.
No accounting for taste. If it's something that somebody loves, let's try and celebrate it instead of shitting on it. Thank you to our sponsor, Fitbod. You're not the same person as you were at the start of the year, so it's natural for your fitness journey to have ups and downs. Wherever you are in your fitness journey, get the most out of every workout with Fitbod. Get 20% off your subscription at fitbod.me/NAFT. That's fitbod.me/NAFT. Oh, man, great. I wish I had one of my own shirts around here to, hold up.
Oh, man. Well, here we are, Kyle.
Wonderful.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, boy. Blasting into it?
Yeah, let's just jump right in.
Good and okay. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done to promote yourself?
I sang a song to a girl once to promote my love to her.
Wow. That's called a serenade, buddy.
Yeah. Well, it got Sarah lamed and put right down like a dog.
Did you were you, was this at a bar, a karaoke, or like
no, this was
say anything style with the boombox?
This was in a living room of an apartment. Yeah.
What did you sing?
I'm not doing that. There's enough.
What you already said. What song did you sing?
It was a personal ballad. It was one I wrote myself.
Wow. Oh, wow. You straight up.
If you're not watching the YouTube link of this right now, this is the most I've seen Kyle smile in 20 years of friendship.
Was there music accompaniment?
Yes, there was music.
Yeah. Who made the music? You wrote the music too?
Ow.
Was it a rap? Is that why? Because you just got to play a beat and you rap. You had a rap love song?
All right. Also, one time I did the Pepsi challenge.
We are not leaving this topic, Shane. I'm sorry. I need to know what genre of music. Did you play an instrument?
I sang it. We composed the song. I used to be in a band. I had the guitar player and the drummer show up, and we did like a little VH1 storytellers kind of thing. And then they left, and then she left.
I'm just going to help them carry this amp out, and then just never came back inside. She roadied her way out of your life.
Oh, I really wish I'd had Fitbod then. She probably would have stuck around.
On to the next town. So those dudes came in.
Yeah.
You were dating, or you were like trying to.
We were dating and off and on again, and I'm a fan of romantic gestures.
I'm not going to knock you for that.
Yeah.
You know, we can make fun of it, but I'm not going to knock you for romantic. Not a lot of people do that kind of thing anymore.
Yeah.
So I
was like 20. I was young.
And you were in a metal band?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you guys slowed it down a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
What did the guys think of it? Were they like,
They, to their credit, one of them I still speak to really frequently, and the other one I haven't seen much in the past 20 years, but they've never brought it up to me again because I think they know.
Were you like on a knee?
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Like, did you get...
When I said that, I didn't think it was going to go this far.
So you were twice. So that was like what, 20 years ago?
Why are we still doing this?
22 years ago. I want the setting. It's 22 years ago. So
21 years ago, something like that.
Okay, so we're in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yes.
Post 9/11. Post 9/11.
It's post 9/11. Yes, 9/11 was 22 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. So Twin Towers fell.
The two darkest days in American history were all in the same year.
It's a lot of uncertainty in the world.
Yeah. I was thinking about thought my ROTC stuff would really come in handy. I'll enlist as an officer, and we'll buy a house in Champaign, Florida, and then I'll learn to fix fridges or whatever.
I am dying to hear this song.
Never.
Do you remember it? Do you remember it? Does it keep you up at night?
No, you motherfucker. Look, I truly don't remember it. You are never going to hear this song. And if by some chance you do, I'm going to hurt you. Like,
babe, I love you. Don't ever leave me.
All right.
Oh, just to know.
I'm hot. I'm hot from this. You're making me so.
I'm from this.
I'm sweating.
Oh boy. Balladeer Shane Torres. I love it. I love it. I think it's sweet.
No, I mean, you might, but you're also enjoying it for a variety of
Shane, reasons. I'll tell you, I never had the courage to do something like that for a lady. To make a bold gesture. I'm a guarded man, and I may have missed out on some deeper emotional connection in this world because of it. I commend you, Shane. I think that's okay.
I missed out on a deeper emotional connection, and I did it. So sometimes you don't do things, you know?
You went big. Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
I don't. I never did anything like that. I did get hired to wear a big foam cowboy hat like Dumb and Dumber and stand in front of a bar to get people in. That was a publicity stunt.
No, but that was. Why have I never heard of this from you?
Because it lasted like a day. It was
longer than my big love publicity stunt.
It was a bar. It was like a particularly low point where I think I don't know if I got like kicked out of my house, which that doesn't count when you're 25. I think I did comedy at this bar, like, we could use you if you wanted to work here. And I'm like, I just needed any kind of money possible. And I get there, they're like, yeah, you can wear the big foam cowboy hat and stand in front of the bar and be like, come on into this bar. And I'm like, wasn't that guy, especially when I was 25 and still trying to be the coolest kid alive.
Yeah.
And so I'd sit out there like,
yow, pow. You're just dancing around.
Just smoking cigarettes, holding the hat. And they're like, you got to like be excited. I'm like, I'm going to kill myself.
It's crazy they want those people to be excited and they give them the worst goddamn jobs and things to wear.
And it was just this parallel of like, I did a really good show at that bar and like, you're really funny, you know, like, and you need a job, let's hook you up. And then like what people think of you comedically is like, well, since you're a comedian, you should put on this foam cowboy hat and dance on the sidewalk in a part of town, like right by Zany's. Down like Zany's in Old Town in Chicago. It wasn't far off from there. So like a super drunk bar, and people just riding by, just heckling, and I'm like, I think I want to die.
Yeah,
that was sad.
That's tough, man. I can't. Yeah, my my actual experience. That's a tough. That's a tough gig.
And that's, I mean, yeah, that's not like a publicity stunt, but as far like, yeah, I mean, it was for the bar. Like,
I mean, it is kind of a publicity stunt, but it's very small.
Before the sign guys.
I remember Funches used to have this joke about being dressed as the Statue of Liberty for a tax preparing company. And he would just be like, I was dancing to One Nation Under a Groove, and all these like people would see Funches dressed as the Statue of Liberty and be like, I guess, like, I think the punchline was it's a skinhead's version of the apocalypse. Just but I don't know if I've ever done any promo like that. Like, not even for I haven't done like, I'll like post like pictures and posters and stuff for shows, but I've never done anything like awesome or anything like in the sense of that grand a scale that where I would be like, this is really good, like.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I ever participated in publicity stunts, like the car touching kind of thing. You saw that movie Hands on a Hard Body, right? Yeah. And those people like start trying to win a car. Yeah.
They start having like visions and shit, and they become delirious.
Yeah, I saw some old picture of it was when they used to have dance-a-thons and or dance marathons, whatever. Yeah, it was. Oh, these people had been dancing. I'm like, I wonder how long it lasted. It was something like 4 days. Like people were just holding each other up. Yeah, they're like and it was done. It was a picture from I think the Great Depression. It was just like, here's a thing we can do, and the winner gets like a loaf of bread or something. I don't know what the shit. But
I think I got to be honest, I enjoy the spectacle of it, like especially if it's a very big thing. They're like, Evel Knievel's about to jump over 30 helicopters on his motorcycle, brought to you by like Model Sporting Goods or something, and you're like, okay, yeah, this guy's just like, it's always like an insane thing.
Yeah,
and
it was always radio
it's all
stations.
in the name of always in the name of capitalism or love in my case. But
it was always FM radio stations. I remember they always had like something going. I remember there was a drought. Like, well, now drought's a common occurrence, but we're like, what's a drought? And I remember being a kid, like, what's a drought? Oh, there's no water left. Like, well, what? But we need water. Remember, you'd be alarmed as an 8-year-old. Now you're like, yep, another summer. We're regular. But so our town had just built like one of the first water slides, like semi water park kind of public pools, but then they couldn't use the water to fill it. So we're like kids and we're so excited, like, they're putting in water slides, it's fucking rules. And then there's just like dry water slides and it's May and we're like, what are we gonna do with this? And so the radio station, like Z95 came in like, we're gonna get water to these water slides. We're like, Z95 is the greatest rock station in the world. I'm gonna listen to Whitesnake and go on water slides all fucking summer. And that's what I did. And Z95 played. I'm like, thank you, Z. I thank Z95 more than I ever thank Jesus for anything in my life that summer. Thank you, Z95. I get to listen to Dr. Feelgood and go down these water slides.
How old were your textbooks the next year at school? It's nice to see that the county spending money in valuable ways.
We got to buy these used ones.
That's
the ongoing conflict
so
in
it can
Vietnam.
Be kinda,
what?
It can be kind of used for good. Like, I'm sure we'll get into more of that, but like, there's a radio station in Pittsburgh, and they always do like a toy drive every year, and they do like crazy numbers because it's been going on for so long.
Yeah,
these two guys, like, I think they just go sit in a van outside of a toy store for as long as they can. Oh, really? And it's like, and Pittsburgh's pretty fucking cold, so it's like in the middle of winter. And they people just show up and like bring them like hot chocolate and stuff, and they like, like all these toys, all this awareness gets. So there's like, most of the time it's for somebody to sell soda pop, but every once in a while there's a pretty good reason for it, promotional event.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice when they're going, when it's for good causes. I mean, I don't know if it falls under publicity stunts, but like, I used to hate all that Baba Booey shit. I never got into Stern. I never
was a Stern guy either.
And it just missed me. I'm not saying I listened to it and I didn't like it. It's just it's like Dungeons and Dragons. I never even knew about it until an adult. I don't know how these things that are staples, I just completely missed it. And so it wasn't until later, like people like, I love Howard Stern. Like I saw the movie. That's how I knew about Howard Stern. I watched his movie, but I didn't know anything about him otherwise. I didn't listen to it. But then people call it like doing the Baba Booey shit. I'm like, and I try like, well, it's no Stern's funny because he's got a bunch of like mentally deficient people on the show. I'm like, I don't think that sounds cool, man.
No, it's not. That's so funny that you bring up Stern because I did this is where my career's at. I had to do radio last week in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And somebody called in and did a Baba Booey. And the guy was just like, fuck. Like it's
still ongoing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's sad for everyone involved. Even the guy who Baba Booies.
I remember when it went to when the radio station I used to listen to went to Man Cow.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Fucking terrible. And it was, but then like they were given some comics jobs, and you're like, oh man, I don't know. I guess if this is like a thing to do, and his whole thing was, he's the classic case of like nobody finds you funny anymore, so you think you're being canceled, and so now you're a free speech warrior. That kind of shit. So yeah, they were given comics work, like you could go down there, and I remember Monty was on there for a while.
The Mont Man.
But he's like, he quit. I'm like, what happened? He's like, he wanted me to eat roaches or something. I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, good, I'm glad. But I go down there, and it's that morning radio. Like it was crazy. They had crazy morning radio, but I just remember them like all the like. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just remember like their stunts. It was like very Stern, stunt. Like where it's like, oh, this isn't funny. It's just kind of like, oh boy, I'm outrageous. I'm like, every 6-year-old can nail being outrageous. And it's not a difficult thing to do.
The Big Brother Jackass guys are doing this way better than the local radio DJ in Iowa City or whatever. Like if you're doing the gross out thing, it's like, yeah, man, hey, Kyle, eat this block of worms filled with cheese. Or this block of cheese filled with worms or whatever.
I like the first version. I want to know what that was.
Yeah. There was a lyric to the song about my heart after that woman left me. But
God, I want to hear this song. I want this song.
Yeah, well, we'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? I'll talk to you about Fitbod. I'm not really known as an exercise guy, but I'm trying to take care of myself a little more these days. And yes, I've been using Fitbod. It's great. You put in some information about yourself, and it kind of personalizes the workout for you. I like riding bicycles, but I realized my arms and my chest might be lacking. So I put in information about wanting to do that. And I like it because it's simple. I'm not a tech guy, but this made it easy to understand and easy to go through all the steps to get a personalized workout just for me.
The thing I really like about Fitbod is hotel gyms suck, and Fitbod makes them easier to use. I put in some data points, and then I get 3 dumbbells, and I lift them, throw them around, and then I don't have to walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes and then go straight to the continental breakfast and have 48 pancakes. And there's some accountability involved. You log it every day, you feel a little bit better about yourself. You see some progress. 5 days in a row, Fitbod, it's a nice feeling. So check out Fitbod.
Wherever you are in your fitness journey, get the most out of every workout with Fitbod. Get 20% off your subscription at fitbod.me/NAFT. That's FITBOD.me/NAFT.
And we're back.
I mean, we're doing this topic mainly because of the Elon Zuckerberg fight?
I mean, we don't think that's actually going to happen. Do we?
Good God. What was that Clint Eastwood movie about the boxing?
Oh, $1 Million Baby?
Yeah, can we get a couple stools in the ring for these guys?
Yeah, I
got a double dragon knockout and a snap neck and just set the universe right.
It's insane that this is if this happens and they don't raise at least $1 billion for charity, then for some kind of like,
maybe they could give $1 billion to charity.
maybe
What
they could
about
give
that
100
part?
billion.
What?
Maybe if each of them gave half of what their net worth is, they would still each have over $100 billion.
You realize, I think this is a result. We're entering an age where internet personalities are also leaders. Like, that's commerce. You're Lauren Boeberts and your Marjorie Taylor Greens and understanding like publicity is all that there is now. It's all publicity. It's all about who can get the sound clip, who was loud. Forget if you look stupid.
How do I make a
FaceTime.
dynamic point?
Yeah.
Like how is something I do seen as dynamic, even if it's stupid?
Yeah,
like,
everything's a publicity stunt. It doesn't affect. There's people that are just impervious, and we don't have to go like, oh, is it the Donald Trump thing? I think it was inevitable that people are like, even if people dislike me, I'm still on people's minds, and that alone is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, and that's like the stern. Why do the people who hate him the most listen the most? Yeah,
yeah. And it used to be reserved for just radio. Now it's everybody. Now everybody can be that. Just
God damn it.
Get people to be outraged.
And that's what these fucks are doing with this fight for some degree, for sure. I just can't. I can. Everything you said about that fight, I hope happens. So I can't do anything.
Yeah.
And I use two of their companies all the time. So I hate that too. But
yeah.
Let's go to a funnier one because I hate this is like, when you watch an old movie about like medieval times and they have like two kings were supposed to fight and not two armies of poor people.
Yeah.
This is like the new version of that. Like, like Richard the Lionheart never dueled anyone, I'm sure.
I mean, that is how it should go down. Like, oh, we're going to war. No, you're going to war.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to work on Monday. If you want it, go ahead. You want the thing, you go get the thing.
Go be a bit, yeah.
That's not
what's happening. Yeah, but hopefully they both have strokes on the way to the ring. But there are some funny publicity stunts, even though this is not one. This was my favorite because I use the subway stop all the time. Snapple tried to make the world's largest popsicle in 2005. It melted. Snapple decided that it would try to erect the world's largest popsicle in Union Square. Then the 25-foot tall, 17.5-ton frozen Snapple snack started to melt very fast. Union Square, which, by the way, might be the busiest place in the city, was flooded with kiwi-flavored liquid, and the fire department had to close the surrounding streets.
How many diabetic rats are in that neighborhood now?
I bet it was, and just the amount of, like, the subway is always sticky anyways. This is like go to like a fucking pump theater. It is so disgusting just to think about how bad it was. And just the amount of flies that were in Union Square for the next 3 weeks was probably insane.
Oh God, there's a picture of it too, and it's just disgusting. When did they?
This was 18 years ago.
But like what time? I'm trying to see what time of year they did it in.
Well, you think popsicle, you think summer, right?
But you're trying to put a giant block of something frozen.
Yes, Kyle, I know.
First day of summer, 80 degrees. They did it at the first day of summer, June 21st. Snapple. All your fucking facts. You didn't know that heat melts ice, you dipshits.
Oh, it was just too hot a stunt. It's crazy to think somebody lost their job over that.
I bet.
Something.
Where would they go from like, all right, okay, it's up. Like, what's the next? What was the plan after? Oh, look, there it is. Everybody get a lick. Hey, New York City, everybody lick this thing together.
So a guy screaming that out his window last night.
Just toddlers stuck to it like fly paper.
Yeah, just little bit like 1-year-olds with earrings. Just like God.
People scraping it off like it's a salt mine. Like there was like I really admire the complete lack of foresight.
In my mind, it's just a bunch of people. Like there's a bunch of trails of people's shoes being stuck to the ground, and then like
sand style.
Yeah, like and then just like a sock, and then another sock. Oh, just ruining everybody's Jordans.
It's like a dare. It's like a dare that because this happened in 2005. It's just like we put up a giant popsicle. How big? 25 feet tall. No way. Watch me. All right, I bet you $100 you won't get it done. Like who? This had to be approved several times by the city. Also by the city. Somebody in the city
the parks
was like,
department was fine with this. Yeah. Oh man,
it's a great one. Quality.
I just have like a thought of just some billionaire eating a popsicle in an ivory tower, just looking down at all these like, people watching it melt, just being like, like some kind of industrialist asshole, just being like, look at all these poor people watching their literal dream melt of having what I have, just filleting a fucking like pixie stick or whatever.
Yeah, it was just an elaborate Banksy.
It sounds like it.
This represents capitalism. All right, whatever. I guess, man. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it all does.
Thanks for writing a word underneath it, so I get it. Yeah, another great stunt, and I recognize this one. LifeLock CEO gave out his security number and challenged people to steal his identity. They did a lot. Davis posted his social security number on billboards, online ads, TV commercials, everywhere to prove that LifeLock service would protect his identity. His identity was stolen 13 times. There were 87 failed attempts, and the FTC fined the company $12 million for deceiving advertising in March of 2010. Man, how can something go more south than
the guy believed in his product?
Yeah,
I will give.
You know what?
Give him that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give him that. Like,
I believed in my heart that we were meant to be together.
Yeah, and failure's real.
That song did not make 2 commercial breaks worth of love happen.
I remember that LifeLock thing coming out, and I was like, this guy's got balls. And I was like, there's no way it works. Like, I knew nothing about anything. I'm just like, that's a bad idea, man. That's a bad idea what you're doing.
God, he must have felt like such an asshole. And he cost his company. Not only did the advertising stunt fail, but he cost his company $12 million in fines, not business. Fine, like,
yeah, that's like that you bring up Evel Knievel. Like his whole thing is he would always do the stunt even if he knew he would fail because he didn't want to give people their money back.
That's pretty great.
Where it's like, well, we're already here. This guy's like, well, I already built the thing. Here's my social security number. Would you look at that? It doesn't work at all. Well, okay, all right, okay.
That's
back to the drawing board. It's like such a Homer Simpson move.
There's something to be said for that attitude, though. Of like, I don't know exactly what it is because it definitely does more damage than good when these people. But like giving them a show, sometimes when I get on stage, I'm like, if it's like a light crowd or whatever, I'm like, well, these fucks paid for parking and some of them got babysitters. It's time to go up there and do this, even though it's gonna be bad.
No, it's more that I like when somebody is willing to make a bold gesture. With sincerity, Shane, I think that you singing a song to a lady it's a very courageous choice. Something I would never do. Something like this where somebody is just so bold. Like when you see somebody make a bold gesture and they succeed, they're a legend.
Yes.
But when somebody makes a gesture like this and it fails, there's no like middle ground. You're either a legend or you're an absolute buffoon. Yeah. But the guy went for it.
I don't remember his name, though.
Went for it. No.
And I also would never. I wouldn't recognize him.
I'm sure
if I
he's
saw him.
changed it many times now because his identity is still being stolen to this day. That guy cannot get a car loan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a bummer.
Yeah, that guy. They don't trust his passport at the airport. That guy's life is ruined because of that move.
That's fucking. Yeah. He's like, he's trying to get clear, and they're just like, he doesn't even have his own retinal scan anymore.
Yeah. My name's Al. Are you sure? Because last week it was Steve. Well, I did that thing with the social security number, and now I'm fucked.
Brad, you know me. You know me.
He had to renounce his citizenship and just move to another country to start over.
That's so fucking great. Oh, man. This is a legendary one. Garth Brooks becomes Chris Gaines. A supposedly Australian pop star with a soul patch and broadcasting poot, Gaines was intended to be the.
Can we go back to where you just said
brooding? I'm sorry. I got a
broadcasting poot.
No, we're gonna fix that because I got a text. I got distracted. I was trying to do 3 things at once. You don't have to be like this. You're just like that woman I sang a song to. Why don't you get out of here, Charlene? Stop laughing, you fucking jackal.
Can we?
Supposedly Australian pop singer with a soul patch. With a brooding pout.
No, it's broadcasting poot now.
All right, this podcast is a broadcasting poot. Thanks, you little broadcasting poots, for tuning in to No Account for Days. We're making hats.
BC Pooters.
Supposedly Australian pop singer with a soul patch and a brooding pout. Gaines was intended to be the protagonist of a film called The Lamb, but the movie never happened. Meanwhile, Brooks took his method acting to an extreme, appearing in a behind-the-music mockumentary and releasing an album, Garth Brooks in the Life of Chris Gaines. This thing failed so bad. He is... I have vivid memories of it, and for some reason it came up recently, but Garth Brooks hosted SNL.
Yeah.
And Chris Gaines was the musical guest. And one of my, have I talked about this on the podcast before? One of my all-time favorite sketches on SNL was Tracy Morgan walking up to Garth Brooks back in the corridor and being like, this dude they got singing tonight, he sucked. If you were that fat, Garth, they'd be calling you Girth Brooks. And it goes on and on for like 5 minutes, and then somehow Tracy Morgan calls Lorne Michaels a bitch and makes him get him a soda.
He's talking about reviving it.
No,
yeah,
he's not.
Yeah, he did an interview with like I don't know, some country, like Billboard country or whatever, and he said that he's got like 3 Chris Gaines albums ready to launch.
Oh no.
But again, I admire any artist that they're at the top of their game and like, I'm changing it up. I'm sick of this. I think that's gonna be the hardest.
It's the don't hack yourself thing.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna be one of the hardest things. Where like, oh, this is the thing that's getting me millions of dollars and pleasing the fan base, but now I'm not happy doing this, but I feel beholden to it because this is what's paying me, it's paying my staff, and for somebody to take that risk in that moment, going, I'm gonna pivot and I'm gonna shake off a lot of people. Like
cool.
I dig that, man. Whether it succeeds or not, I applaud the attempt.
The gall to try is impressive, no matter what. If it's
just
a
any
success,
superstar that I'm not going to be dictated by this.
It's again with the publicity stunt thing, like you're saying, like if you succeed, you're a legend. If you fail, you're not a you're a klutz, you're a buffoon. And if you're, because some publicity stunts actually result in tragedy, like those flying Walendas.
Well, that's not a that's just what
those
they
are
do.
Publicity stunts, though, right?
But but their career is being acrobats.
Yeah, but when you say like I'm going to walk between these towers,
in
Chicago without a net,
but for like the Chris Gaines thing, like I wonder, I haven't read extensively about it, but I wonder if it was because he's come out later, like with the whole Bud Light thing and everything. He's like, I don't give a shit, man. I'm down with everybody. Like, Garth Brooks seems like a pretty,
for a guy who's been famous for 40 years at the top of the world,
famous within country music, where it's easier to lean into that fucking Kid Rock, go woke, go broke shit, and he's not. And I wonder if this in that moment was like trying to let people know he's more than just a boot scooting boogie type of fucker,
a redneck with
because
a guitar
he didn't,
or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't want to get pigeonholed as it.
Yeah,
and I wonder if he's like, even if it fails, I'm letting people know I'm unpredictable.
Yeah. Him being okay with trans people is nowhere near as big a risk as what he tried with the Chris Gaines thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't like a Garth Brooks fan, so I wasn't.
I'm not either.
I'm just at the time I'm like, this is stupid. But again, a wildly successful artist going like, I'm gonna do some crazy shit. I like that.
Yeah, and when they pull it off, people speak in reverence of them. Like if they're just like, you know what he did.
Yeah,
like if it had been a success, people would have loved it. It just wasn't good enough, I guess. I don't know what happened with it.
Madonna was real good for a while, as far as like kind of always being like, oh, it's like this techno industrial music.
Yeah,
so she would lean into new music all the time. And it's actually, speaking of our pal Monty, I remember back when I met him starting comedy 25 years ago. He's like, yeah, I went and saw Madonna last week. And I'm like, why would you go see Madonna? He's like, it's one of the biggest acts in the world. It's going to be a great show. I just want to see a good concert. I'm like, oh, I should approach music that way.
You can enjoy
these
things.
People at the top of their game, they're going to put on a good show.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, I would probably go to a
Madonna
Taylor
was
Swift show, even though I'm not really a fan. Yeah. Like,
so
I don't really know her. Yeah. But I would go see it for sure. Well, I'm still talking. I remember this one too. We'll do one or two more, and then we're going to get over to these callers. But in 2004, Tinder used its dating platform in a surprising new way, aimed at connecting singles to dogs available for adoption. The promo stunt was conducted in partnership with a U.S. animal rescue organization, creating a feel-good attitude toward the dating app. All right. Not so bad. I'm sure, some ladies have already adopted a couple of dogs on that app. Booyah! There we go. Then you wanted to hear the song? That's what it was. Next joke. I know, but I wanted it. Kyle was fixing something, and I was just looking for space. This is actually a really sweet one. On February 23rd of last year, the Lego Foundation announced a donation of 600 Lego magnet. Sorry, let me start over. On February 23rd of 2022, the Lego Foundation announced a donation of 600 Lego magnetic resonance imaging. God damn it.
Why don't I take this one?
All
right, yeah. I'll do the smut. I'll do Tinder. You do Legos. Giant baby. Because I got my Invisalign in.
Was Lego donated 600 Lego MRI scanners to hospitals worldwide in the hopes of helping children cope with the fear of MRI scans. I'm getting one in a couple hours. Turning a stressful experience into a positive and playful one. Since the release of its prototype, Lego MRI scanners have been used to help hundreds of children aged 4 to 9 annually. I read that initially.
I really hope you're in a giant choo-choo train later made of blocks. We just assumed because you hurt this on a bike that you were 8.
I'll take it. I think it would be pretty cool. I initially read that sentence where it's like the Lego MRI scanners have been used to help hundreds of children aged 4 to 9 annually. I didn't see the D, and I was like, it helped these children age from 4 to 9. Like, it gave them an extra 5 years.
See, magnetic resonance imaging. That's what it was. God. That was a mouthful. I should have done it. But
that's a cool. I don't
it's
even
a
think
really
that's
cool one. That's a really
necessarily
cool one.
A publicity. I think Lego is just a good company. It seems like all the stuff they do is
they're not
solid.
American, right?
No, German.
Well,
Swiss,
maybe Swiss or something. But fun toys, doing fun things to help little people.
Legos rule.
Yeah, they're a blast. They are cool.
I want to go. As far as a toy that's been around forever.
It's got staying power. They are Danish. Sure. They're Danish.
Danish. Of course it is.
You can tell I read that in the chat by the way I said it. They are Danish.
In 1974, the Cleveland Indians fans could purchase beer for 10 cents each. Fans became heavily intoxicated, and even rioted during the 9th inning. The fact that they made it to 9 is impressive.
Yeah.
Which ultimately caused Cleveland to forfeit the game since there was zero crowd control. This was the first time they held a cheap drink promotion either, but due to some animosity towards the Rangers, some Indians fans were all too keen on making sure they knew they weren't welcome. Yeah, I could see a team called the Rangers and a team called the Indians not getting along. That's kind of great. That's straight
like,
out of the history books.
Yeah, for sure. And also just like what a boxing gets a lot of shit for pairing races against one another. To sell tickets.
Yeah.
But every sport has done it.
Yeah. There's all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Well, helium, but balloon releases that fail. That's rich.
Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah.
In 2013, LG released 100 helium balloons, each containing a voucher for a free expensive smartphone worth over $850. I don't even need to read the rest to know how poorly this went. Attendees were not adequately screened for weapons. That's the next sentence. Following the release of the balloons, the crowd started shooting BB guns and using knives attached to sticks. Those are called spears. The grab vouchers, 20 people were injured. That's just swinging spears in the sky.
That's fucking. I don't even. Yeah, just pew. It's awesome. Oh God. Yeah, Publicity Stunts going bad is. Somebody should start an Instagram channel with that because it's probably do pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
right. Let's go to the litter box. We'll see you guys in a bit after this word from our sponsor. Speaking of publicity.
All right, now's the part of the show. Time of the show. We go to you, the listeners,
The kitties. Say it. Say it. The kitties.
I can't say it.
Come on, the kitties.
It feels
Come on,
gross.
Kyle.
It feels dirty. It feels like a felony.
Come on.
It's like Kurt Braunohler's joke about how his kids call him Papa because as a society, we've ruined the word daddy.
That's funny. But come on.
You could say it.
Meow for me.
I'm not. No. What? No.
What if I get you the song that I say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you sing the song,
then how often will you do it?
What?
How often would you do that? It's not going to be a one episode.
Depends on how well you sing the song.
No. No, it depends on how well you're going to say. Give me a little perfection.
How much of the song are you going to sing?
Oh, probably all 22 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
No. I'm not singing the song. Whatever. They're cats.
This is a real November rain.
Oh,
first meow.
Here we go.
Hey guys, first off, I left a message before this, and it was complete hot garbage, so if you could please ignore that one.
Okay.
But I wanted to give my money on Publicity Stunts, and right now I think they're kind of useless, but they did actually serve a purpose, at least in radio, before the current way that they gather ratings for radio. Right now they have this thing that's called PPM meters. Basically, they read a radio frequency if they can hear it within range, and it tracks how long you listen, and that's how radio ratings are, compiled. But in the past, people used to have to write down at the end of the day in journals what they had heard throughout the day. So these publicity stunts were big deals because people could be not really listening to your radio station, but have heard a publicity stunt going on through like the newspaper or local television or whatever, and they would remember that DJ's name, even though they didn't listen to their radio show. They would write that name down in the journal. So, like this guy I used to work with in Denver, his name was Rich G-Man Goins. G-Man spent like half of a Broncos season on a billboard because he refused to get down until the Broncos won a game, and it was like they lost like 15 games in a row that year. So he was like up there for like a month or two, and it was a huge deal, and people like flocked to his radio show because of this publicity stunt, even though they probably weren't really listening to it very much during or before.
Interesting.
So that's kind of my hot take. Hopefully that helps. Again, thanks, Kyle and Shane. I'm a big fan. This is Johnny out in Denver.
Thank you, Johnny. That was
Thanks, Johnny.
What a great, interesting little factoid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes we learn.
Sometimes. Yeah. That is again, it's just going back to me making me laugh about promotional stunts failing. A guy having to spend 12 weeks on a billboard in Denver because the Broncos aren't winning is I think the problem is a problem with these publicity stunts is a lot of times they're tying their fortune to other people's will or depravity. Like the LifeLock guy, like I fucking dare you to try and steal my social security number. Okay. Well, like, or this fucking bill like, well, the Broncos don't have a backfield and they don't have they got a left-handed quarterback who has never picked up a football in his life. I should probably spend 12 weeks on this fucking billboard. Like you can't tie it to other people. It's got to be a self-sustaining thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn. All right, you said we have one more caller?
Yeah, we have one more.
All right.
All right, so I just called in earlier today about Taco Bell, but you guys were talking about publicity stunts, and that got my interest. Meow. I have a very crude opinion
whoop, whoop,
of
meow,
publicity stunts, mostly just because I feel like the public only gives a shit about them if nobody dies, or the person who's perpetuating a lie dies, or just a really ignorant guy dies. Like, I'm not okay with that, but yeah, the guy in Paris a long time ago with a parachute suit jumped off the Eiffel Tower and crashed and died. But he tested it twice and fucked up royally both times. But then you have Balloon Boy, where it's like a guy who conned the news for a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I kind of enjoy the spectacle, but I'm not... I can't even hope those guys like work their shit out. Like they're horrible people every time.
Oh, well, I think the parachute guy, wasn't it the inventor of the parachute that jumped off the Eiffel Tower? I'm gonna go to this. Yeah, I thought that one of the guys like early invent parachute Eiffel.
Oh, I don't know.
No, you're right. The Flying Tailor was his nickname.
Yeah, first ever parachute test. Parachute suit. It looked like a wingsuit.
Okay.
And he died trying to proving that he didn't do a good job.
Proving.
Yeah. No.
Guess it didn't work. Guess it didn't work. What else is on?
Yeah, no. I'm just getting to the point. So, yeah, I forgot about the Balloon Boy one. When everybody thought, what was that?
Was it a hot air balloon that said a baby was in by itself or something like that?
I thought it was like a chair or something.
Balloon
Boy.
I don't know that. I don't know that one.
Yeah. Okay. Here it was. It was a.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, October 15th, 2009. Homemade helium-filled gas balloon shaped to resemble a silver flying saucer was released above Fort Collins. They claim their 6-year-old son, Falcon, was trapped inside of it. All right, I'm just going to... I'm gonna skip to why he did this. I want to skip to the I want to skip to the punishment.
Sorry, yeah.
It was just a publicity stunt. Criminal investigation. This is what I want to know. All right. 90 days in jail and $100 of community service. That's it.
That's it?
And his wife got 20 days.
Yeah, they suck, but I guess they didn't really hurt anyone. They just made the news.
No, it does hurt people when you're taking resources away.
Fair. Yeah.
That's the thing, like swatting and all this. It seems hard, but no, you're taking resources away from people that might need them. Like there's a couple that went missing in the mountains, like in LA a few years ago, and it turned out they were just methed out. They went hiking on meth, and they got real far because it's meth. But they had to pay back millions of dollars in the search and rescue funds because they had helicopters, they had all these people looking for them.
Yeah.
People get lost, but when it's like, oh, you were tweaking, and you decided to go take in some nature, yeah, we're gonna make you pay this one back.
Well, then how? I guess that's like weird, but like it's also just like the amount of people who drink when they go camping and break something, and they got to have somebody like firemen come up. I wonder if they get fined too. They get searching.
I think I'm sure there's a bill, but just like getting a paramedic or anything.
Yeah.
But as far as like helicopters and all this stuff.
Yeah. What are we even paying taxes for if these people are charging us? If I can't go get methed out and climb around Niagara Falls without somebody sending me a bill.
Isn't that the joke now is like, don't you dare call a fucking ambulance on me. I'm not paying $5,000 for riding the woo-woo wagon.
Yeah, maybe we need a publicity stunt for ambulances to like cost less.
People take lifts to the hospital because the ambulance is too much.
That's true. Fucking wild.
America's great.
We're the best, and we do publicity stunts all the time. My all-time favorite publicity stunt. Do you have one, Kyle? I was saving this question for the end.
Oh, all-time favorite. I don't go with yours. I'll try.
I'm going to go with the Fan Man and Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield's fight. Do you know this? There was a heavyweight fight, and this guy on a fan in a parachute came in and landed like halfway into the ring. Yeah. And everybody was like, "What the fuck is going on?" I think it was Bowe and Holyfield. I know it was Bowe because Riddick Bowe's entourage. He was from like the worst part of Brooklyn. Just beat the fuck out of this guy. Like there's like a bunch of these guys just going fucking nuts, and they're all like the biggest, scariest dudes, and just whoop on him. And they're like, because they thought it was like, I think somebody was there, like some religious leader was there, and they thought it was an attempt on his life. But this guy coming in on a van, like there's a bunch of different stuff going on. But I think it was Bowe Holyfield, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that was that one just like seeing this guy come in, you're like, what? And then all of a sudden, just the ring is mobbed with people throwing punches at everyone. It was supposed to be two guys fighting, and then it's 200.
I remember the days of Morton Downey pretending he got beat up by skinheads at the airport.
I don't remember even know that. Yeah,
Morton Downey. It's not related to Robert Downey Jr.
No.
Morton Downey.
But he had
Morton Downey Jr. He was like Jesus Christ. If you Google this guy's face, it is terrifying.
Doing it now.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Charlene,
gosh.
can you the one with the yellow glasses?
Yeah, hold on. Oh my God. Right?
Yeah. And one of these he looks like Shooter McGavin, and in the other one he looks like Robert Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And he was pioneered the trash TV format. It was just all like shitty talk show, like kind of like Jerry Springer, but not as tongue in cheek. But he claimed that he was jumped by skinheads at an airport, and they shaved his head and like drew a swastika on him, and he just went in the bathroom and did it himself. That was his stunt. That's what he went for.
I want to do an episode on this guy. Jesus Christ. He looks like the Crypt Keeper.
He's just a skull that somebody spray painted a face onto.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, and late April 1989, he was involved in an incident in San Francisco International Airport restroom in which he claimed to have been attacked by neo-Nazis who painted a swastika on his face and attempted to shave his head. Some inconsistencies in Downey's account For example, the swastika was painted in reverse, suggesting that Downey had drawn it himself in a mirror. Failure of the police.
Can we
to
do an
find
episode on this guy
evidence.
just as a change of format? Like interesting people. I think that would be fun. Like he's also a member of the National Smokers Alliance.
Yeah.
He died of lung cancer also.
He was a pretty magnificent asshole, to the end. Again, if you're I don't like him, but the man stuck to his brand.
Yeah.
To the end.
He stayed like, oh, I'm. The people are like, you're being a prick. Like, oh, well, watch this instead of trying to correct their actions. He was that guy before social media. So you were just
he's got a real
jerk.
Yeah.
For real.
He's got a if it bleeds, it leads kind of vibe.
And I will say, anytime there's pictures of people that have failed trying to vandalize and tag swastikas on things because they can't figure out how to draw them, that tickles me.
Yeah, it's like you're too dumb. You're too dumb to hate.
Too dumb to figure out the swastika. Like, wait, no, it goes left. Oh, I screwed it. Let me try over here. Like those bring me up. Anyway, dumb Nazis.
Yeah, I love that. All right, Kyle, tell them where they can find you. You have to do it because this episode, it fits.
I'm sorry, I'm reading more about Robert Downey Jr. In 1984 on radio, Downey used the word Chinaman while telling a joke.
I don't even like that we used it now in a context.
He was sued for allegedly appropriating the words and music to his theme song from two songwriters. He was sued for $40 million after bringing then stripper Kelly Everts onto the show and calling her a slut, a pig, a hooker, and a tramp, saying she had venereal disease and banging his pelvis against hers. This guy was a piece of work. This guy is truly rotting in hell. Downey punched Stuttering John during an interview done for the Howard Stern show.
Oh, that's right. Oh, no.
When an Inside Edition camera crew approached Downey grabbed the boom mic and struck the sound man's head with it. He was just a fucking piece of shit. His whole life, he was just a piece of shit. Legacy. In 1998, a Golden Palm Star on the Palm Springs Walk of Stars was dedicated to him. Why? He was an asshole the whole time.
Awesome.
Anyway, Kyle Kinane on all social media platforms.
Want some dates?
You sluts and pigs.
I'm Shane Torres on all social media platforms. ShaneIsAComedian.com.
Let him know, you hooker.
You can catch me at Montreal Just for Laughs. And I think Kyle's gonna be there too. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you to Charlene for an amazing job as always. Yeah, why are we promoting? We didn't learn the value of it at all. All right. Everyone, this has been the show. Thank you. Please tell your friends about the podcast. We would like to get the numbers up to 4. Anyways. Thank you guys for listening. This has been the All Things Comedy Podcast. Blah, 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 blah. Goodbye for meow. We'll see you next week.